When you're stepping on the brake pedal and it's vibrating, that's a sign that you have a bad brake rotor that needs to be resurfaced or ABS problem. If you head into your car and you see that your radiator fan is not working, you want to check this very fuse here, which harbors relays and the fuse. So you want to check for the designated fuse for your radiator. However, before checking it, you want to on your AC, put your AC on inside your car and see if the fan comes on. If the fan doesn't come on, then that's a sign that the fan could be having problem or a fuse relay related problem. It can't get past this too. The remote will not unlock the door. That's a simple sign that the battery could be bad or the relay is defective, or the battery could be bad, the remote could be defective, or the remote is not for the car. You're driving and the oil light is flashing on the dashboard. If the oil light is flashing, that means that the engine oil pressure could be lower than the normal, the oil level is lower than the normal, or the oil pump is defective and you should pull over immediately because it's going to get your engine damaged. So what you need to do is to open the crankcase of your car engine and check if suppose the crankcase, the oil sump is clogged. If it is clogged, then that's going to be the problem, or you have a bad oil pump which need a replacement. That is the solution. If you step into the car and try to start the car and it's telling you to take your key for Mercedes, that means it is possible that this key is not for this very car. However, for some other car, if it's showing the key sign, it means your car has entered immobilizer mode, which is a security feature which they equip with your car to avoid unauthorized access. So in that case, it could be that the key fob is bad. Most often times it's actually the key fob that is bad, or the battery is down, so you need to replace it and try to start it up again. Another common problem again is that you're constantly seeing your tires getting low on pressure. That means that it has picked a nail and you need to take it to lube mechanic to check it and see if the tire is due for replacement or it just picked a nail, which they can fix using a DIY tire repair kits, and that should be able to solve the problem. Other problem you may encounter here is that the coolant is overflowing. If the coolant which you have right here is overflowing, what overflowing means is that you're seeing it pouring out all the way outside here. The first thing which you need to do is to bleed the system of air, which is you start up the car, but this differs from car make and model. You want to open this up, allow it to cool down. You can see there is a pressure that was trapped inside. So the more hotter it is, the more dangerous it is to open this when the engine has built up pressure. So you want to make sure that you don't feel above this very return line here, because that's the benchmark. If it feels above this, if you feel the coolant or water above this very return pipe here, it will not have the chance to return the coolant back to the system, so it will start overheating and overfloating. Most of the times when it's overfloating, it could mean also another severe problem. We could mean that your radiator fan is not working, or you have a blown top cylinder head gasket, or you have a lot of air trapped inside the system. So you want to check out any of these, because the problem are not far from what I just mentioned right now. And if you find any of them that is defective, then go ahead and fix it, and that should fix the problem. The other side which you also need to know, some other common problem, is that your engine is vibrating. If your engine is vibrating when it's idling, there is every tendency that you're having a cylinder misfire, which means one of the cylinder is not firing. It could be injector, ignition coil, or a bad valve that is not allowing the system to close up properly to build up compression. Or it could even be outside these scopes which I'm talking about here, which can be pointing into a severe engine damage, or a clogged injectors, or overcharged AC system. So any of these is where the problem lies, and you need to know exactly what the problem is before thinking about addressing that. Another common problem you come across in car is that the brake is feeling so soft when you step on it and you're hearing a hissing sound. When you're hearing a hissing sound like when you're stepping on the brake pedal, there shouldn't be any hissing sound. Listen, there is no hissing sound. So if there is no hissing sound, what that means is that the brake system, brake fluid has entered every channel, all the four legs from the ABS, and feed all the four legs correctly without having any air inside the system. Most of the times, you could be having air trapped inside the brake system, and some other time, you could be having a bad brake booster, which you need to replace, which is this guy right here. Another common problem you will come across in a car is that you're stepping on the accelerator pedal, but the car will not accelerate. That is a serious issue most often times, which sometimes a blown fuse can be the cause. So go ahead and check it and see if suppose you have a blown fuse. And sometimes it's a bad throttle pedal, so go ahead and replace it. But before replacing it, scan it with a scan tool to know exactly what the problem is, so you can know exactly where to put your hands, get your hands dirty, and fix the problem yourself. Some other common problem you will notice is that you insert the key into the ignition and put on the ignition on, and there is no light here. What that means is that you're either having a blown fuse, which most often times is located here or underneath the glove compartment, or your battery terminal is not well connected and it's off. So you need to go ahead and locate where your battery is and make sure that the terminals are well connected, are securely connected, and that should be able to fix the problem and bring the lights back, bring the power back to the instrument cluster, which gives you a green ahead, a go ahead to go ahead and start up the car. Another common problem which you should be concerned about, which often happen, is that your brake light is not working. When you step on the brake, if yours have this one up here, it doesn't glow, and this one doesn't glow. Now here is it. If this one doesn't work and this two works, it means this one has a problem. And if this one works and this two doesn't work, it means this one's could be having the problem and they have a different designated fuse. However, if the three of them doesn't work at all, it is not a fuse problem. It can be a fuse problem sometimes, and it can be a brake switch problem, which is a component that is often located on top of this brake pedal. If you come over here, one other common problem you should know is the car engine oil light is flashing. Then you top it off and still it's flashing. What that means that you don't need to top it off, you need to take it entirely out and replace it. Some other time, if the oil light continues to flash, let's say when the engine heats up and you're driving on the highway, you start seeing the oil light start flashing. What that means is the oil weight which you're using is too poor to lubricate the engine. You often find this in a German cars, as cheap as Volkswagen Make 3. So when the oil light start flashing right there and making some beeping noise, what it means is that the oil is too light to lubricate the engine, and the ECM has calculated the pressure and the weight of the oil, and it is insufficient, which can actually lead to engine catastrophic failure. So that is why you are having that problem. Some other common problem you're also gonna come across is your car will not rev past 2000 RPMs or 3000 RPMs. What that means is typically a limp mode. In Mercedes, you find it in Honda, Hyundai, different car make and model, BMW. So in BMW is gonna tell you engine power reduced. It can go from simple to difficult. However, a low oil level, either transmission or engine, could be what is transmission fluid is actually what is the cause of it. Some other common problem you also gonna notice is your car jerks or delay before shifting. Try topping off your transmission fluid and try again, because most of the time that is where the problem is coming from. Guys, I remain Dr. Cool AutoFix, your host. I hope you find this very video helpful to resolving the problems which I've listed so far. If you have any further question, drop it in the comment section, but be sure that you are my subscriber. YouTube has updated so we can know who is our subscriber and who is not our subscriber, who are just watching and asking us questions. Thank you. Bye for now.